Motorola Solutions MSI Beginner's Guide. When a police officer hits the panic button on their shoulder radio, or a 911 dispatcher routes an ambulance to a car crash, or a body camera starts recording an arrest, there's a very good chance the gear behind all of that was built by Motorola Solutions. Today we're going to walk through what this company actually does, who it competes with, and why its business has grown so steadily for the last 5 years. Quick reminder up front, this is educational only, not investment advice. So, what does MSI actually do? Motorola Solutions makes the tools that police, fire, and emergency services use to talk to each other and stay safe. The business splits cleanly into 2 segments. The bigger one is called Products and Systems Integration. This is the hardware. Roughly $7.3 billion in revenue last year, or about 62% of the total. The flagship products here are LMR radios. LMR stands for Land Mobile Radio, which is just the technical name for the heavy-duty two-way radios you see clipped to a police officer's shoulder. These aren't cell phones. They run on dedicated radio standards called P25 in the US and Tetra in Europe, designed to keep working when cell networks are jammed or knocked out. MSI also sells body-worn cameras, fixed surveillance cameras for buildings and city streets, and the systems that tie all of it together for police departments, firefighters, EMS, emergency medical services, and federal agencies. The other segment is software and services, about $4.4 billion, or 38% of revenue. This is the brain of the system. It includes command center software, which is what 911 call takers and dispatchers actually look at on their screens when they answer an emergency call. The system is called CD, Computer-Aided Dispatch. There's cloud video, where camera footage gets stored and managed. And there's something called AI Assist, artificial intelligence tools that automatically write up police reports, redact faces in video for privacy, and flag important moments in long recordings. Total company revenue last year was $11.7 billion, up 8% from the year before, with a record $15.7 billion in backlog. Backlog just means contracts already signed but not yet delivered, which gives the company multi-year visibility into future revenue. So, who does MSI compete with, and how does it win? The competitive moat here, moat being the competitive advantage that keeps rivals from catching up, is rated as wide, and it's one of the strongest in the whole tech sector. On the radio side, the main competitors are L3Harris and a Chinese company called Hidera, but neither has anything close to MSI's installed base. On the software side, the main rivals are Tyler Technologies in command center software and a company called Verkada in cloud video, plus Hexagon. And in body cameras, the main competitor is Axon, which most people know as the Taser company. So why does MSI keep winning? 3 reasons. First, the gear is mission critical, meaning when a police officer presses the radio button, the call absolutely has to go through, because lives are on the line. Public safety agencies don't experiment. They buy from whoever has the longest track record, and that's MSI. Second, switching costs are enormous. Switching costs are the time, money, and risk involved in moving from one supplier to another. A city replacing its police radio network is a multi-year project that costs hundreds of millions of dollars, requires retraining thousands of officers, and carries serious political risk if anything goes wrong. So once MSI is in, they tend to stay in for decades. 10-year contract renewals are normal. Third, MSI sells the whole stack, the radio on the officer, the camera on their chest, the dispatcher software at headquarters, and now the AI that ties it all together. Competitors mostly sell one piece. MSI sells the whole emergency workflow. There are over 2 million first responders in the US alone, and MSI is the dominant player in that ecosystem. What are the key drivers for the business over the past 5 years? 3 forces have driven the growth over the last 5 years. The first is a profitable shift in the product mix. The software and services segment, which is much more profitable than hardware, has grown from about 30% of revenue 5 years ago to 38% today. That mix shift alone lifted the company's operating margin, meaning the percentage of revenue that becomes profit before interest and taxes, from around 22% to over 30%. The command center software business grew 15% last year, and the AI Assist product, which charges $99 per officer per month, layers recurring subscription revenue on top of an installed base of 2 million plus first responders. The second driver is monetizing the existing radio install base. MSI launched a product called APX Next, which is essentially a software and services subscription bolted onto its newer radios. Think of it like turning a one-time radio sale into an ongoing subscription, the same model that has worked so well for cloud companies. There are already 200,000 plus subscribers, with a target of 300,000 by the end of 2026. A newer product called SVX is a body-worn assistant that combines voice, video, and AI in one device. 100 customers signed up so far. The third driver is acquisitions. MSI bought a defense communications company called Silvus for $4.9 billion, which expands the company into military markets, specifically mesh networking, which lets soldiers and drones communicate even when normal infrastructure is destroyed, plus counter-drone defense technology that NATO countries are buying heavily right now. Silvus' revenue guidance for next year was raised to $750 million, so the deal is performing well. To wrap up, so the one-sentence summary, Motorola Solutions is the dominant supplier of mission-critical communications and software for police, fire, and 911 dispatch in the U.S. With a wide moat built on decades of switching costs and a growing AI and software layer that turns one-time gear sales into recurring revenue. As you watch the business going forward, two things worth keeping an eye on. First, how fast AI Assist and APX Next subscribers keep growing, because that drives the margin expansion story. Second, how the Silvus defense acquisition performs, since it opens up military and counter-drone markets way beyond traditional public safety. Once again, this is educational content only, not investment advice. Do your own homework.